Your songwriting, you are an artistic archaeologist. You are an artistic exegete. You're an artistic theologian. You're a creative, innovative archaeologist. Whatever word you want to stick there, you are the image of God made to pull through, pull out. How you're going to do that? By realizing your art is the vehicle for carrying your culture's voice. It cannot be separate from your culture's voice. We have to understand that. Songs capture the kingdom sound. Songs embody thankfulness and God-glorifying ends, even in despair. We've got to play that tension between what's really going on in the world and what's really going on in heaven, between the reality, the shadow, and the reality, the actual thing. Okay? It's got to play the role. It bridges the gap between us and the real kingdom. That's why art is so important. It's like portals, man. Talking about space travel, your art is something to be looked along into seeing the real reality of things. We're going to talk about that more in a few days, talking about transpositions. We're going to build off what Nikki built in her idea of photography. But you look at that photo and you see along it into the real thing. But you didn't actually go to Scotland. You didn't actually go to that waterfall. But yet you feel some of what it was to be there, the breathtaking, the power, the sound, the smells, simply by looking into. And that's really what this life is giving us, art that just looks into things, but we don't see the real things themselves. So when you're approaching your craft, you need to do three things. One, biblical theology. You need to look into and across Scripture to identify the truth it teaches, the one meaning. Okay? It's going to be very important so you don't apply that Scripture drastically wrong and end up affecting yourself and others who hear you. Number two, systematics. Identify that truth in its total meaning across all of Scripture. Systematics. And start looking for it in your culture. Okay? Because you're going to have to write things to create ways for people to bring truth into their very real experience. And number three, Christian theology. Identify the cultural needs, see the culture, and look out across the needs and lift them to God. Take the truth you know, take the needs that are perverted and screwed up, and bring them together in a way that brings them to God and says, and I think that song is perfect when it says, I am worn out from groaning. All night long I flood my bed with tears. Who of us has not had a night like that? I've had hundreds of nights like that. I look at that and I go, that's the real life of experience. But that's reality, but that's not reality. So reality is the Lord has heard my cry. The Lord accepts my prayer for mercy. He brings quick reply. That's the realness of that moment where we feel alone and far away from things. God is saying, no, you are together with me and I am close to you. Okay? This is the job of every artist. This is the job of every creative. This is the job of every innovator. This is just what songs teach us. This is what artists can help us with. This is why we're doing this conference. Is artists sometimes, because we do what we do, we just have a connection a little bit to sometimes what we do because it's ephemeral. It comes from us. It's paints. It's lyrics. We're organizing chaos all the time, and so sometimes we can just communicate that. So a businessman out in the real world goes, I can relate to that too. Or a homemaker can say, I can relate to that too. Ordering chaos. Politician, ordering chaos. News anchor, ordering chaos. Nurse, ordering chaos. Doctor, ordering chaos. Lawyer, ordering chaos. Janitor, ordering chaos. Whatever you're in that creative realm of taking what is disorderly and making it right. And to know what is right, we have to know how to get there. We have to do our biblical theology, get the right. Bring it into our life, bring it into our world so that they can hear and see the truth, so that what they're making, what they're doing can be taken away by truth.